Hi guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new, welcome back if you are not, and welcome home if that sits just right for you. Today we're going to do a pick a card reading, talking about phases for the next quarter. This happens to be October of 2023, but whenever this finds you, my intention is held for the next quarter. So you're looking at the next 3 months, 90 days-ish, and we're looking at what's happening in this phase for you, some messaging, some potential information, some insights, anything that the universe wants to share with you regarding how you might best move through this phase. So the timestamps will be down below. Make sure that you're choosing the messaging that resonates best with you. This is a general reading, so some things will resonate with you and others won't. Pick up what you are comfortable with. Pick up what feels right for you. Put down anything that doesn't. And most importantly, this is a pick a card reading, and so this is where your intuition becomes part of the magic. We have 3 piles. Pile number 1 with this beautiful onyx heart, pile number 2 with this beautiful rose quartz heart, and pile number 3 with this beautiful green fluorite heart. So your job as as creator is to choose which pile feels most resonant for you. So your intuition is going to become part of this story, right? So you're an active participant here, even though you're simply listening. Your energy is going to run this show. So make sure that whichever pile feels right for you, you just let that pile pick you. Don't work it. Don't labor to let points fit for you. So you just sit with these piles for a minute, and then we will move forward together. Okay, those of you who have chosen pile number 1, this beautiful, beautiful onyx heart. It's so gorgeous. It feels so great too. Let's go ahead and see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have chosen the Anima Mundi, right? So this is the spirit of the world, right? This is the world behind the world. This is the energy behind the world. So this is kind of that driving force behind, let's consider it like the wheel card. So the wheel is all about cycles and how you move through life, right? So this is also a card of union, right? This is everything, excluding any kind of separation. So this is full union, full unity, right? This is also about cycle completion. And it's really about the sacred details behind the world, right? That soul of the world, the bonds, the places where things interweave and interlock and create that structure behind everything, right? So that we can build our created world. Interesting. Let's keep going and see what you have here. You've also got the benefactor, descendant, and eternal charisma. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's contemplate here. So benefactor is this is a card of grace and generosity. This is about gifts. This is about the balance of giving and receiving, and always understanding that you have enough, right, to give away, right? It's kind of like that 6 of Pentacles, where as you receive in one hand, you give with the other, and understanding that you're that thing upon which generosity moves, resourcedness moves, right? These are very interconnected. Let's keep going though. So descendant is about that place where self becomes other, right? This is how we learn through relationship. This is how we welcome others and yet hold forth to our boundaries which is absolutely lovely, right? Yeah, that is a beautiful thing. And then we talk about eternal charisma, right? And eternal charisma is that magnetic point where we are able to be in attraction and reception at the same time. So this is a really important cycle for you guys. This is all about, I mean, so you're probably moving through something like an initiation to a next level of self-awareness, of how you not only are able to give yourself, but give of yourself and to yourself, right? So this is really witnessing that charm and radiance of self that has the capacity to be put into a relationship. You know, and quite often we talk about how we learn our lessons solo, but we have to put them into practice in relationship. And until we have the faith to do that, right, until we're available and have the capacity to shine that forth, we can't really witness how well we've learned our lesson. We can't really begin to share as that fulcrum point because we haven't yet woven what lies behind. So as we're really talking about the soul of the world, the bonds, it seems that you are up-leveling to a new, let's call it capacity. Oh, hello, of course. A new capacity to be in relationship, right? And so we're talking about self and other, but contemplate that when we talk about self and other on the universal scale, we're talking about the illusion of self and other, right? So there might be something that you're becoming aware of behind the 3D level of self and other, and really finding the place where we become one instead of witnessing there's me and there's you. This is really the place where we create the we of all that is, right? And how we give to others is a reflection of how we give to ourselves, or possibly a projection of how we withhold from ourselves, right? The key here is, is this eternal charisma as being the opportunity to recharge, to reframe, right? So this is about your vision and connection of your whole being, right? So this eternal charisma is a magnetism that allows you to pull in what you're requiring, right? So as we do this work, right, as we create that structure and framework, and we do the work to reprogram the places that kept us in, wow, okay, we'll take them, that kept us in, well, that kept us bound by our own ideas. We learn that there's more, right? There's that next level. And when we get to that next level, what happens is that we open to the possibility that place of union is possible. You know, so when we're talking about the descendant, we're talking about that place where the sun is setting. This is the event horizon, let's call it, for that place of self and other. And this soul behind the world, right, is absolutely that event horizon between collective and individual. So we're really having the same message here. Let's see what the tarot has to say. So we've got the Four of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, beautiful progression, the Eight of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Sun. Okay, so So we talk about the Eight of Swords as that belief place where we are bound by our beliefs, by our expectations, by the ways we have conceptualized the concept of our being. And so the Eight of Swords, right, she appears to be stuck. But what we notice is that if she could see, she would be able to step free. She's not completely encircled. She just believes that she's immobile, and so she is. The key here is about the vision, right? So swords are always about ideas, beliefs, visions, communications, the way that we process information, the way that we gather data, right? And so we have the Page and the Knight. So this is information that comes to you and then gets put into action, right? So whatever it is that's got you stuck, that's got you bound up in the way that you believe you are, something is going to come in to change that, to cut those ties. Now here's the thing. We have the Four of Wands. This is a shared celebration here. This is, okay, so if we're talking about completing cycles, if we're talking about finding ways to really witness the sacred detailing in the life that we're creating, in the web that we're creating. The Four of Wands says, wow, look what you did. Good job. Let's celebrate, right? You have created something beautiful. You know, this card is always about, you know, so this card, they call it the 1111 card, if you're so inclined to understand what that means. And they also kind of call this a twin flame card. Now, I'm not a person who necessarily believes the twin flame hype. However, I also do believe that we draw people into our lives in order to hone our lessons, right? Like we talked about. So if we're going to talk about these swords, remember that swords are dual-edged, right? They have the leading edge and the back edge. And so you have to make sure that you're always moving your ideas forward so that they don't fold back in upon you and cut into you, right? So if you're talking about the way that you approach that event horizon of self and other, the way that you give and receive, right? You have to be in constant motion with these things because they are dual-edged, they are dual-sided, right? Just like when you're talking about a radiant vision or the way that you're reframing a thing to create a firmer footing, right, which is the process of this Eternal Charisma card. The way that we do that is to be mindful of our leading edge, right, which is all about how we're creating the behind the scenes. We're minding that back edge to make sure that we're always in motion in the outward direction. So we have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, fully resourced, right? We have everything we could possibly require. We need nothing. And so we can stand next to anyone in any relationship and simply be generous because we know that our generosity is not dependent on receiving anything. We are just there to be radiant, to be the visionary, to be that bright light, to hold that space of charm, right? And so if we're really talking about a whole being up level here, this really gets you to that place of, I'm good. How about you, right? So I believe, pile number one, beautiful onyx heart, y'all, that the experience for you over the next quarter, so the next 3 months, whenever you're catching this, is going to be about really creating a firmer, solid footing for you, minus the illusions, right, that allow you to witness yourself as other, that allow you to give to others as you give to yourself, because you are first and foremost sharing with yourself in order to create this kind of energy, this abundant, fully resourced, let's get out there. This is hope, optimism. This is the happiest card in the deck, right? This is, look at me, I'm letting my flag fly. I'm not afraid. I don't feel bound in any way, because whatever ideas came in, I put them into motion. So there was no need to feel threatened by those concepts, right? I am able then to give generously. I am able to not only to offer grace and the benefit of the doubt and support to those around me, but I'm also able to understand that in offering those things, I'm giving them not only of myself, but I'm giving them to myself, right? It's such a beautiful message, right? So if we're talking about the soul of the world here, right? The living, breathing matrix upon which we build, every single piece or connection that you make lends itself to the creation instantly of the next creation, of the next connection and the next connection. And so every single time that you give something, every time you share, every time you witness as sacred that sense of connectivity, the faster your own abundance increases in kind. Let's do one quick thing here. I did not anticipate it, but I would like to pull a clarifier on this Eight of Swords. Just a quick one. Let's do that. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's beautiful. It goes right along with this. So pile number one, yeah, this is about looking within, right? So you get the Hermit here. So this is about the quest for truth within, right? Because we understand that there is no within. There's only us as the, let's call it the avatar for the rest of everything, right? Anima Mundi, all is one, accept all, reject none, right? There is no other, all is union. And so finding this light in the darkness, being on this quest for the truth of yourself, allows you to be in yourself and as the rest of the world all at once, without hesitation, without guarding, without belief that there is anything out there that could affect your experience in here, right? Fully abundant at all times, fully radiant at all times, fully celebrating at all times, because we have created this sense of awareness of ourselves as the proxy for everything else. So as you give to yourself, you give to everyone. So your phase and messaging for the next quarter, pile number one, is to really find that perspective, digging deep within your own soul, right? Being absolutely fearlessly present to plumb your own depths, right? And witness where you are finding an edge of separation, and then leaning forward to remove that edge of separation, or to use it to cut through that belief that is no longer serving. Here's the thing. If you need to find facilitation, go ahead and find it, right? We're talking here about generosity. So this speaks to the presence of those around you who would be able and willing and capable to be of assistance as you move through this process. So whatever it is that you are doing, go ahead and find those ideas, but then find someone to help you put them into action, or to act as a sounding board, or simply to listen to the way that you have that conversation, because this is about self and other, but it's about the union of self and other, and that always happens within first, right? So I wish you nothing but the best, pile number one. This is a beautiful initiation for you into kind of a next level relationship phase in your life. And that could be for, you know, your love relationship, your family relationships, your friends, your coworkers. It doesn't matter. But the way that you carry and hold yourself is going to change. So be witness and be open to that transformation for yourself, because in doing so, you serve absolutely everyone else. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. And make sure you hit subscribe so you can come back and tell me all about it, right? Take care. Thanks for listening. Hey there, all of you who chose pile number 2 and this gorgeous rose quartz heart. Let's get moving on your messaging, shall we? So we're talking about the next quarter, phases, and messages. For the next 3 months, whenever you find this, I'm doing this at the beginning of October of 2023, but whenever this finds you, just take it for the next quarter. So you start off with the mystic, right? So this is beautiful, right? The mystic is a transformational messenger, right? So this is about how we swallow poison and transmute it. This is about how we are fearless and we welcome the darkness. We welcome the uninvited. And we choose to undergo transformation in the awareness that not only are we in service to others, but we are outside, in fact, of the concept of other, the concept of space or time. It's all about vision, right? Yeah, so we have galactic mushroom, the divine matrix, beautiful, Mercury, and courage. Well, that's lovely. So let's think about this. So we've got the divine matrix here, right? We've got a theme going on. I see. There might be some messages in pile number 1 for you. Pile number 2. So just take that how it resonates with you. So this is about the complexity of the state of the world, right? If we're talking about the galactic mushroom, we're talking about the way that we witness the world in the world in the world, right? And so there's a level of awareness beyond, which speaks directly to the mystic, right? An awareness of what is behind the structure of our 3D world. So not only are we witnessing the 3D, but we're also witnessing the behind the scenes, right? Which is that out of bounds place where the mystic revels and works. And so when we get to Mercury, right? Mercury is all about between the bounds, right? Mercury was the only god who could go into the underworld in his role as psychopomp. This is dynamic energy. It's very mental energy. However, it's all about a deep listening, right, to spirit. It's the way that we witness ourselves as both of the world and beyond the world. So really witnessing our highest vision, the understanding that we are both the awareness, we're the message and the communication itself. And then courage, right? Courage is something about how we really witness the cycles, how we are really, let's call it, willing to jump in to whatever situation is required, how we are surrendering to the dance, really, and how we try to find the places where we can affect change, right? Because this is in all of these places. How are you building what's behind the world? How are you witnessing what's in the depths to be brought to the surface for that transformation, for that transmuting? And then how are you available to move into those other realms, right? That requires courage and perseverance and an understanding of the cycles. and a willingness, let's be fair, a willingness to undergo whatever is necessary in terms not only of transformation, but in terms of experiential learning, right? Something beautiful in the Courage card is how we witness ourselves as needing to be in motion, and how that's okay because we are in service to that highest vision, right? So you have quite a mission, it sounds like, this quarter. Pile number 1. Let's see what the tarot has to say to you. So you have the Emperor. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Well, you have the Emperor and the Empress, right? So this is a lovely divine pair. You have Judgment. Da, da, da. You have the Ace of Swords. The 8 of Wands, of course, right over here. All buddied up to Courage, right? Okay, we got you. And the Tower. Okay. So let's have a conversation here. So first of all, let's start right here. Okay, so you can witness this as divine pair if you'd like. I would like to witness it as witnessing yourself in fullness, right? Witnessing your divine masculine and divine feminine both in tandem, in union, in that complex matrix of itself, right? Understanding that these energies weave themselves together in that divine matrix, right? And having the courage to witness both, right? Because we're never really in need of an external source. If we are in our masculine at any moment, we don't require the feminine. We are already present to it, right? We are already in claim of that. Any energy that you require, you have within you. You don't require an external validation. It's not like I need a source of balance outside, external to me. I am my own balance, right? It's all within me. It's all built into my matrix. And as the mystic, I can gather any part of that energy that I require. You know, I know that sometimes we have a belief that there is an external thing or person or energy that's going to complete us. But the fact of the matter is, you're already whole in your claiming. That's all that's required for you to say, oh, okay, this is what part of me is required right now, right? So let's keep going. So we've got Judgment and the Ace of Swords. So Judgment is that place of assessment, right? This is how and where we choose to take one bit of information and siphon it, or that's really not the right word, synthesize it, thank you, through our own experience, right? So this is that place where knowledge and experience make wisdom. So what are we talking about? We're talking about knowledge and experience, creating something new, right? Transforming, transmuting something. The Ace of Swords is the idea. Can that happen? Well, absolutely. Do you need it as a message? Well, if you do, you have it, right? You have it. You have ways to listen to spirit. Absolutely ways to listen to spirit. And how you're going to move forward here is by doing whatever's necessary, right? The Tower, what I love the most in this little spread here about the Tower is that the Tower blows your crown off, right? So when the lightning strikes, right, when this Ace of Swords comes in, it blows your crown off. It blows the ideas that you've been carrying right off the top of this tower. And it allows for whatever has been created out of service to be destroyed so that they can be rebuilt and recreated. And how do we do that? Well, guess what? We do that by assessing what we know and assessing it through our experience so that we can discern and distill our very own wisdom, not reliant on anything else, right? So here's the thing. It's going to come in fast, whatever it is. Whatever this idea is, it's going to come in fast. And it's going to require you to be fully grounded, to be fully present in the cycles of whatever this shift is asking you to be. However it's asking you to hold both of these energies together simultaneously, right? To understand that not only are you your divine feminine, but you're also your divine masculine. And between those things is the mystery, right? It's not required that you choose. You don't have to pick one. You're both. And the thing is that you're always both, and you've always been both. That's your matrix. That's what's behind everything. That's your vision of your higher self. So whatever your concept of structure has been, I believe the message for you is to listen deeply so that you can create that new message that encompasses more, that encompasses something deeper, something wider, and then to have the courage of your conviction to claim it, to walk it, to own it, right? Because it's you. So pile number 2, rose quartz people. Since this is a rose quartz stone, I'm also going to add let's call it available to this being a heart lesson, right? This can be a full-on heart lesson right here, and it can drop in just that fast, right? It might come in at any point in time in the next quarter for you, but something is going to spark it, and it's going to all of a sudden come clear, right? Just all of a sudden come clear. I am going to grab, a clarifier for the Ace of Swords. I didn't even get my languaging out, but okay, that makes perfect sense. So the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. So wherever this is going to come from, it's going to come from somewhere where you're in collaboration with other people. So this is probably going to come from a friend or a coworker or someone that you enjoy being around. So this message that's coming, this awareness that's coming, that's going to shift and change the entire fundamental nature of your current reality of yourself as being whole, as being complete, as being that transmuter, that messenger, right, that exists both within and without of space and time, is going to come from somebody that you know. So be alert to that, be aware, and understand that it might feel uncomfortable during the process as you process this awareness. But it's okay. Mind your dissonance and allow yourself to trust your capacity to navigate that process, that bit of the underworld that wants to show itself to you, that wants to give you a secret, right? So pile number 2, rose quartz folks. I believe that your message for the next quarter is going to be all about finding a piece of new information that's going to allow you to really up-level your self-concept in terms of how you're able to hold space, not just in this world, but in the beyond, right? Behind the scenes. Yeah. And make sure that you don't jump too fast, right, when this comes in. Give yourself time to process and understand that you have all the resources you need to witness all sides of this awareness. And don't be in too much of a hurry, right? Just let it bake on its own, understanding that it will come to fruition in its own time, right? So just be alert and good luck, because this sounds like an amazing phase for you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe and come back and tell me all about it, right? Until then, take care. Thanks for being here. Hey, pile number 3. Those of you who have chosen this absolutely beautiful fluorite heart. Look at that. So gorgeous. let's go ahead and get right into your oracle cards, shall we? So you have chosen the offering. Okay, I like it. So this is about gifts, right? This is about giving. It's about we really do have a lot of themes here. So you may wish to listen to one or two here because there's definitely some themes. This is about generosity. This is about sacrifice, right? Which is the root word of sacred also. So this is how we move as service, right? You have gathering around, which is all about the power of community. You have the sun. And the elixir of life. So here we're talking about, okay, so if we're going to talk about service and giving, this is about allowing yourself to really witness yourself with a little bit of help. Right, so if we're talking about service and community and self and the ways that we witness our capacity, the ways that we witness our mortality, this is speaking to the fact that you either have or you need to become part of a community. So this could be as simple a community as 2 people or 3 people, right? So whatever it is that you're going to do, the ways that you're in service are the ways that you also require that. So this is about witnessing yourself through the eyes of a teacher, through the eyes of a friend or a lover or someone, and really kind of finding that space that feeds you, and really witnessing the ways that you can create yourself in abundance, right? Whether you're talking about part or whole, whether you're talking about mortal or immortal, it doesn't really matter, simply because you are part of something bigger, right? So the offering is of self to the greater, to the wider, to the bigger, larger, more, but really also maintaining that brightness of self within. So the concept is, how is your ego in service, right? And it can be in service to yourself. Let's be fair, right? An ego is not necessarily a thing to get rid of. It's a thing to start a conversation with, and to really understand how and why we do the things that we do, right? When we act from our ego, we're teaching ourselves something. So your ego is part of those lessons. Just like anger is a teacher, so is your ego. It's just about where you're putting your attention and where you're choosing to witness your own capacity fearlessly, and then choosing to share it in service, right? Oh, all right. Well, let's see what we've got here. So you have the Hanged Man, which is all about perspective, right? So perhaps just witnessing yourself in a different way, as part of that greater, part of that larger, more. And then you have Justice, which is, of course, all about being in service, really witnessing the greater capacities of... Oh, I love it. All right, one more. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so let's just take a second to take a little bit of stock here. So we're talking about shifting perspective. Okay, beautiful. All right. So the ways that your perspective is fixed or rigid or self-focused in a way that does not allow you to widen your scope and include, I don't want to say include others, but to include the greater as part of your mission. That's going to be challenged, right? The ways that you're defending your patterns, the ways that you are defending your accepted truths, right? It's very important that we're witnessing blind justice, right? Justice without looking, but justice from a new perspective. So however you have been in claim, in belief, in the way that you choose to walk your life, anywhere you have an unexamined place, you're going to be asked to witness it again, right? In places seen and unseen, in places known and unknown. And in order to really clear out our baggage, we have to have perspective. We can't do it on our own. You cannot fully heal without that place of testing your boundaries, without that place of where am I, right? I think it's critical that we have the Lovers and the Two of Swords at the end of this messaging. So the Lovers is about union. The Lovers is how we bring together those opposing things in our lives, those this or that's, those here or there's, into that fulcrum space, right? When we talk about the scales of justice, we talk about the scales as the balances, but we always, well, quite often we want to pay attention to the fact that there is a center fulcrum upon which those scales rest, right? When we're talking about the Two of Swords, we're talking about those balance points. Again, the key here, though, is that your perspective weighs everything. Your perspective is the decider. It's the place upon which any and everything hangs, right? And so the Lovers talk about bringing those two opposing things or views or concepts together into union, right? Into service of the self, into your own heart, into your own soul, into the place where you understand life is too short to be out here trying to make balances. Life is too short to witness parts that are not in service to the whole. Life is too short to act like we're mortal. Life is too short to act like we're mortal, right? Abundance, sacrifice, sacred sacrifice, right? Asking, then doing, giving, always giving, right? The minor of justice is the Six of Pentacles. Again, please, if you feel so called, check out pile 1 and pile 2. There are messages there for all of this. This place here where we're receiving in one hand and giving with the other, because that's how the cycle works, right? As we offer, so we receive. And we can't offer or receive unless we are part of something greater than ourselves, right? And so the Lovers asks you to widen your perspective, not simply say, here I am, right? This is me. This is my viewpoint. These are my beliefs. This is what I was told. This is how I do a thing. No, in fact, you're being asked here to shift and change your perspective, to allow for that giving and receiving, to allow for the fact that we are divinely blessed. We're in this cycle, to widen your blind viewpoints, right? And your stubborn clinging to something that is outdated for you, that doesn't ask you how you're part of that greater, how you're part of that next level, right? These are absolutely cards of divinity, right? These are cards of divine choice, of divine perspective, of the way that we process what we're witnessing, of the way that we choose to be and stand in and claim all of those things that are of the divine, right? What is my perspective? Where am I in this? How am I in relation to in this, right? So these concepts ask you to be fully present as yourself so that you can be fully present into the wider, right? And to not get hung up on the idea of it, to just be in it, not to get hung up on the defense of it or the habit of it, right? The key to the Hierophant is the key. Literally, the key is the key. This is always about you having the power to really examine what it is that you're believing, what it is that you're putting into action, what it is that you have accepted as truth, and then witness that you get to reclaim it anytime you want, because it's your truth. And your truth is definitely part of the community, but it's also endless, right? You are more than mortal, but your mortal life is the offering, right? Your sacrifice of this mortal time that you have and don't have, of this mortal gift that you have and don't have. How are you offering it, not just to yourself, but to the greater community? So pile number 3, beautiful green fluorite heart, your mission for the phase that is coming up for the next 3 months for you, the next 90 days, is to really witness how you are self-created, how you are self-creating, and where you can let's call it reassess that, in order to be more present and more mindful, not only as yourself, but for yourself as a representative of everything and everyone, right? And the gift here, the payoff, is this concept of being wed, right, between part and whole, of being the boundary between mortal and immortal, right? And so the way that you're going to do this is to put down your inclination to defend, your compulsion to hold up your hand and say, this is how it is, this is how it is. Well, guess what? It might be a different way. You might be open to learning a different way. You might open your eyes and your heart and look at things in a different way, so that you can learn this lesson and expand yourself to be wider and more, right? To be not just pupil, but also teacher. To be not just audience, but also actor. To be not just lover, but beloved, right? And let your consciousness kind of widen itself to accept all of those things at the same time. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Pile number 3. I'm so excited for you. What a beautiful lesson. What a beautiful phase. What a bunch of magic coming in for you. So please hit subscribe. Come back and tell me all about how this goes. Thank you for being here, and big blessings. Take care.